Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner. If you're new here, I do videos like this every single Friday. Not only do I show you what we had for dinner during the week, but I show you the process of making it, and we always choose really simple meals so that it'll be easy for you guys to recreate in your own kitchen. We like to try a lot of new recipes. We also do some family favorites. But then each week I have a segment here on my channel called Subbies Supper. It's in our What's for Dinner, and it's where you guys, my subbies, my subscribers, send in your favorite meals, and I choose one every single week that we test out, and Steven does his famous taste test with, and we are really enjoying that. So if you haven't sent in your favorite recipe, please do that. Email me at mandyinthemaking2018@gmail.com. One last thing before we get started. If you're watching this video as soon as it goes up, this is a vacation edition for us because my family and I are at the beach right now, but we pre-recorded all of these meals so that y'all would have a What's for Dinner while we were gone. Let's get started. Hey y'all, tonight we're having cheesesteak quesadillas. I'm really excited about these quesadillas. I think it's a great twist on just regular quesadillas. The first thing I'm gonna do is slice this sirloin steak super thin. This is about 1.25 pounds. Now that we've got our steak sliced up, we're gonna add the seasonings to it before we go and put it in the cast iron skillet to cook it. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of seasoning salt, 1 teaspoon of Montreal steak seasoning, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Before we get our steak on the stove, I'm going to go ahead and slice up our bell pepper and our onion that will go inside of our quesadillas. All right, it's time to cook the steak. I have this cast iron skillet over medium-high heat. I'm gonna add some EVOO, and we're gonna cook the steak in batches. You wanna make sure you don't overcrowd the pan. Our steak is done, so now we're going to cook our veggies in this same skillet. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of the seasoning salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. I've got this extra large skillet heated to medium high. I've buttered one side of a tortilla. I'm gonna place that face down, buttered side down. The recipe calls for provolone cheese. We're gonna use a combination of provolone and the hot jalapeno habanero jack from Walmart. We're gonna wait until the cheese melts. Once it melts, we're gonna fold it in half. Here's the tricky part. Hey, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So the recipe said to have it on medium-high heat, but ours started to get a little too brown too quickly, so you may want to just put it on medium heat and just keep a good eye on it.
at that. Wow, that steak is really tender. I love that Montreal seasoning. The vegetables are nice and tender, but with just a little bit of a crunch. Oh yeah. I'm getting that spice now. That Montreal seasoning. That is really good. And a little bit of kick of that pepper jack cheese. I love the buttery crispiness of the tortilla. It's very similar to eating a Philly cheesesteak. A little spicier. Of course, a little different texture with the tortilla. That's really good.
Hey y'all, tonight's dinner is really easy. We're gonna throw a pork tenderloin on the grill. We're also gonna have a new dish to us. It's called summer pasta salad. I got the idea and the recipe from Jen. She has a YouTube channel, it's called When with Jen. I'm gonna leave the video where she shares this recipe and her channel linked below. Be sure to go check her out, she's awesome. Okay, so we were gonna put this on the grill, but we got a late start, so it's gonna be a little bit quicker just to bake it. This is a tenderloin that's already pre-seasoned. It is the roasted garlic and herb. It's the Smithfield pork tenderloin. These are great for nights when you don't have a whole lot of time and you don't want to take too much time preparing your dinner. First thing we need to do is boil the noodles. I've got a 32-ounce box here, but I only have about half of it left, which is exactly what we need for this recipe. You can use shells is what she used. I've got elbows, that's just what I had on hand. Any small pasta will work. I've got this English cucumber. You can use this or you can use 2 regular cucumbers. This is just 1 container of grape tomatoes halved. I'm just gonna run some cool water over this just to cool it down and get it to stop cooking, and so it's not hot going into the salad. We're gonna make the dressing for the salad. I've got a cup of mayonnaise. This is Duke's mayonnaise. Got a 1/4 a cup of white vinegar, 1/4 a cup of sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. I'm gonna add about half of the dressing now and start to stir it all up. We're gonna add in about half of this bag of coleslaw mix. I'll start adding in my pasta and the rest of our dressing. We're gonna put this in the fridge for about 30, 45 minutes, basically until we're ready to eat. She said you could eat it like as is, but it's best if it's been in the fridge for a little bit. I decided it's not fair that Steven gets to taste test everything first, so I'm gonna try this salad. Sometimes food just makes you want to dance, right?
This looks really good. Love pork tenderloin. Wow. Oh man, that is super tender. It just melts in your mouth. You don't even need teeth to eat this. I love the flavor of the marinade. It's got a little bit, it's not spicy, but it's got a little kick to it. But I wouldn't call it spicy. It's more like a peppery flavor. This looks really, really good. The salad, man, looks so light. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh wow, there's a lot going on here. It's got the soft pasta texture and then a crunch. Oh, it's so fun to eat. Good job, babe.
Thank you. Somebody else wishes she was able to eat some. Gracie Lou. Can you say hey to everybody? Okay, it's our favorite night of the week. Tonight is Subbies Supper. Tonight's Subbies Supper is one that we are really excited about because we've never made this at home. I've always been really intimidated by it, but Kelsey made it sound like it's super easy, so we're gonna give it a shot. I'm hoping it turns out great. I'm sure it will. But this came from Kelsey. Kelsey has been following me for a long time here on YouTube and on Instagram. We've gotten to know each other a little bit, and she shared this recipe, and the one that she shared, she adapted. So we're gonna use some of her adaptations. We're gonna adapt it a little bit for our liking too. That's what I love about recipes. You don't have to follow them to a T. Kelsey is an Army wife. She and her husband live in Tennessee, and her parents used to live in Charleston, South Carolina, and there was a seafood restaurant there that they loved. Her parents moved back down to Georgia, and her mom decided they were gonna recreate a shrimp and grits recipe that they loved so much. They found a recipe online, and like I said, they adapted it to their liking, so that's what we're trying today. To get started, we're gonna start on the grits first. We are not using quick cooking grits. Kelsey recommended using the slow cooking, so that's what we're gonna do. The package says to use water, but Kelsey recommended using chicken broth. So we're gonna get this to a boil. We're gonna cut up these pieces of bacon instead of just crumbling them at the end, just so that the pieces are a little more even. This is 6 slices of bacon cut up. We're just gonna go ahead and cook these. And this will go on top of our dish at the very end. Now that these shrimp have been thawed, we're gonna dry them off pretty well before we add our seasonings to them. We're just gonna coat these really well with some Old Bay seasoning. I'm not really measuring this out. I'm just gonna add some and start kind of tossing it around. We're also gonna add some onion powder. Again, I'm not measuring this, just eyeballing it. And some black pepper. All right, these are ready. These grits are definitely done, but Kelsey recommended adding just a little bit of heavy cream just to make them a little bit creamier, so that's what I'm gonna do now. We've got just enough bacon grease in there to cook the shrimp. I just threw in 3 cloves of minced garlic. So I'm sauteing this garlic, and then I'm gonna add the shrimp in just a second. I'm adding in 2 cups of shredded cheese. I've got a little bit of Monterey Jack and a little bit of sharp cheddar. We're gonna let this melt down and finish the shrimp, and then it's gonna be time to eat.
Wow, this looks really fancy, but it looks really delicious too. Wow, that is amazing. Oh man, the shrimp is cooked to perfection. The spices are really good with this. The Old Bay seasoning and I think it's the onion powder, perfectly seasoned. And that bacon flavor with the Old Bay seasoning and the smooth creaminess of the grits, that is amazing. That is really good. Look how creamy that is. Oh wow. Man, that is over the top.
Thank you, Kelsey, for sending this in. I'm really excited to try it. He's making my mouth water. The smell of it, his description, it's time for me to eat.
Wow.
Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed another What's for Dinner. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That really does help out my channel. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button below. Click the little bell notification next to it. That lets you know anytime I upload new content, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.